The following program is a Nighthawk Network presentation.
What's going on, good people? What up, though? Your boy E-Buck is in the building. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the show that I call the I Am Nighthawk Night podcast, where I often talk about the things that you guys are not thinking about because you're sleeping. But I am wide awake and be wide awake thinking about some of these things. So I am once again looking forward to sharing some of those situations with you guys on the air. That being said, hopefully you guys will either check in live at some point so we can get some commentary. Feel free to leave that commentary in the comments. So just say hi. All that works for me. Or also you can go back to the previous rebroadcast and add your opinions there. For those of you on the radio side, you will catch this on my network, which is Nighthawk Network Radio, and also on our sister station, WTEA Radio. Shout out to them. Without further ado, let's get it started. We got two topics for you guys this evening. We will get it in a nice, tidy hour. That is the goal, at least. And we're going to talk about today's subject, which is America. We got a few issues. Now, for those of us who live in America, we know this already. And we got more than a few. We got several, okay? But it's two in particular I want to talk about because sometimes as Americans, we get beside ourselves. And we just don't realize how very fortunate that we are compared to some of our world counterparts. But also sometimes we got to realize that when it comes to some of our world counterparts, we ain't quite where we need to be with it at all. And those two subjects collide in this episode, okay? So, okay, we do have a comment. People checking in from the YouTube. Of course, it is the one and only Road to Stardom checking in. What's going on, Road? Before we even get started, I'm going to acknowledge Road because Road has a new project she is working on, but she also has her project she is currently working on. Let us highlight both of those in the commercial break. When we come back, we will get to the first topic of the evening. It involves this picture right here. What is that about, man? What's up with the glizzies, E? It will make sense when we discuss. When we come back, this is I Am Nighthawk. Tonight, America, we got some issues, is the topics, and that's what we talking. After these roles from the Nighthawk Network, you know my motto, my friends, Nighthawk Network. Our voices for our people.
In this world full of opinions, it is time you hear some of hers. Speaking Freely with Ms. Geigo Podcast. Find it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as where other great podcasts are found.
If you're building your dream from scratch, mic in one hand, hustle in the other, this one's for you. Road to Stardom Network and Nighthawk Network present, a podcast for the indie by the indie, all genres, all grinds. From hip-hop to metal, jazz to trap, we're breaking boundaries. And it's not just artists. Entrepreneurs, creatives, and self-made bosses, we see you. We're giving you the spotlight. This ain't mainstream, this is your stream. Coming soon. Be ready.
And we are back to the I Am Nighthawk Pod Show. That, of course, is shout out to Road to Stardom and her new project where she is going to talk to independent artists about their music, how they got into it, all of that. So shout out to all you guys who may be tuning in. If you are independent artists, you got some music, you want it to get spotlighted and it interviewed by somebody who's been talking independent music for over a decade and some change, that would be Road to Stardom. You definitely want to contact me at Eric Buckner on the Facebook or on the Eric Hawk 45 page on my Instagram. You can also reach Road to Stardom. You can find her on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. You can pretty much find her anywhere. Type in Road to Stardom Radio and send her inbox, and let's see if we can get you going. Road, we will definitely discuss that sometime in the next day or two. We definitely want to get that show started. We also got a couple other shows in the network, if you've been paying attention, that we have gotten started in the last few weeks. Among them, of course, is Coach V's show here, which is Straight Sports Talk with Coach Vincent. Shout out to Coach V. I'm sure he'll tune in at some point. And also, we have the new show known as Rumble Time, ran by Queen Gemini. Shout out to her as well. Last week, she highlighted the SummerSlam preview and gave you her impressions of night one. She's coming on this Thursday to give you her overall impressions of SummerSlam and talk about future events and so on and so forth. So shout out to you, Queen Gemini. And that being said, we will get into the show, good people. The first topic up for discussion, let me type it right on in here, is America. We are greedy. That is my first topic on this one. America, we are greedy. Okay, let me explain. Let's go back to that picture I showed you guys before the commercial break. This one right here. That was inspired by part of this topic because it all started a few weeks ago when I checked out the highlights to what you would call one of the premier eating contests here in these United States. That is the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest that they have every 4th of July. Of course, the champion of that for the last several years, with a couple exceptions due to other stuff, is one Joey Chestnut, who, of course, is known as a world championship eating contest participant. Now, I thought about that because it's like, man, on average these last few years, that brother has eaten, in terms of these glizzies known as hot dogs, known as glizzies to the youngsters nowadays, some 60 to 70 hot dogs at one time in what, a 10 or 15 minute time period. I want you to keep that total in mind, 60 to 70 hot dogs. Shout out to Cam Kendall, who we had on the podcast. That is the Coach B podcast. We talked to that brother last week. Thank you for checking in, brother. I appreciate you. Okay, let's talk about it, shall we? America, we are greedy. Understand, we have the cachet to have a hot dog eating contest where Joey Chestnut ate some 60, 70 hot dogs, okay? He was joined on the stage by at least 12 people, and then, of course, they had a women's version of the contest as well. So let's just say, for sake of argument, some 700, 800 hot dogs were on display and eaten in that contest on 4th of July. 800 hot dogs. Let's say they are about yay big, yay tall, about what, a good quarter pound a piece of hot dog? That's a lot of meat, long story short. And it was eaten not for the purpose of satisfying one's hunger. It was eating to show how much a person can eat. It was greed at its finest level. And of course, that is just one of several contests they have throughout the year, throughout the country. Not just hot dogs, there's wing eating contests, rib eating contests, pie eating contests, so on and so forth, okay? That is one side of what's going on here, the planet known as Earth. Let us now talk about the other side. Right now, there is a country known as Israel. And in Israel, there is a war going on between the Israelis and the Palestinians, who basically live next to each other in that country for thousands of years. Not necessarily in harmony. There's always been conflicts throughout that time, but not to the extent there is now. Right now, the war in Gaza is out of hand. Understand there's about 2 to 3 million Palestinians that live in Gaza, okay? Now let me break it down to you. This is the country of Israel, okay? Let's just say. All right? This much of it is Israel. Okay, all that right there, that's Israel. That little corner right there, that's the Gaza Strip. Basically about 8 million people live, maybe in Israel, maybe more than that. Some 2, 3 million live in Gaza in the Gaza Strip. Okay, that's under normal circumstances pre-war. All right, now that same area, okay, of Gaza. All right, again, let me see if you can see that. Yep, this much is Israel. That much is Gaza. You see this corner that I outlined right here? That's how much of the country that everybody who is left still in Gaza is living in. About 20 to 25% of that country, okay? So you basically got 2 million folks squished into that little area. So basically, think about New York, like deep New York City, where everybody lived all up on each other like that, but worse. Because at least they living in buildings. Most of these people are not living in any type of shelter. They're living in tents. They're living in the dirt. They're living real foul, okay? In the midst of a whole bunch of rubble on the side and underneath them, okay? If that's not bad enough, these people are now forced to contend with the fact that the food sources they would normally have in a normal operating country are not available to them. So that the only way they are able to be fed is through the issuance of food that comes in through trucks that's supposed to come through on a daily basis with enough food to feed the people of Gaza efficiently. That has not been happening. And it has not been happening not for days, not for months, but for years now. As this thing has gone on for a year and some. It is a terrible, terrible thing. We are now dealing with a country where the vast majority of the people are not eating a sufficient amount of food. Now, according to what doctors told me, average person is supposed to intake between 2,000 2,500 calories a day. That's supposed to work out into your 3 meals a day. I would say the vast majority of Americans eat more than that. Okay? Some of us eat way more than that. Easily. The people of Gaza, vast majority of them, not getting that. Now, consider that part of the problem is that the people who are, quote unquote, running Gaza, the people known as Hamas, are taking a good part of that food supply for themselves to nourish their soldiers, what have you, or to basically withhold it from the people in order for them to continue to keep them under wraps. Understand that Hamas are some treacherous people because they are living amongst the people, hiding amongst the people of Gaza, basically using them as human shields to hide their identities and what they're doing underground and amongst them so that Israel cannot just go and pull them out so easily because you don't know at certain points who are the real people of Gaza, the Palestinians, and who are people of Hamas hiding amongst them. And then on top of that, the people that they're supposed to be representing are being utilized in that way by saying, okay, well, yeah, you better not tell them where we are. If you do, you ain't going to get no more food. Or we're going to give you even less. Or we're going to make sure those trucks don't get to you, what have you, and so on. A couple days ago on the news, they showed a couple of the hostages that were taken by Hamas on October 7th. And when I say they looked in really, really bad shape, like they hadn't eaten in quite some time, and when they do eat, it's scraps. The one person, it was interpreted that he basically was saying, I haven't eaten in days and I barely have enough to drink. And it's only water and it's not good. When we talk about being inhumane to your fellow man, I don't think it gets much worse than that. Okay? So as you have sat there and eaten your food today, keep that in mind that more times than not, the vast majority of you have had sufficient amount to eat today. There are people, and not just in Palestine, but throughout the world, who did not get 3 meals today. They did not get 2 meals today. Hell, they didn't even get one. There are some people who have not eaten today and will not. There are some people who are not eating. There are some people who unfortunately will become unalive at some point today because they have not eaten and they have basically been starved to extinction. In this world of ours of some 8 billion people, where you would think, based on some of what we see, if we got food to make for eating contests, why don't we have food to give to every starving person on the planet Earth who needs something to eat? But because we are so caught up in the other things that make us America or Russia or whatever country and not concerned about mankind to that degree, unfortunately, there are those things going on throughout the world and even in this country, unfortunately. Because just because we are Americans don't necessarily mean we all doing good out here. We know that ain't the case. And the current government don't seem to be helping that for some of us. We're not even going to get into that part, okay? But to further extenuate my point, let me give you a few statistics. Shout out to Gemini, AI Gemini, who has found these statistics for me. And I utilize that to come up with some of these stats that I'm going to read you now. Okay, let's talk about food insecurity and food waste, okay? Food insecurity as in not enough food and food waste. According to Gemini AI, Chat GPT, the average American household of four loses an estimated $1,500 each year to uneaten food. That is food who we have prepared and did not eat completely. That is food that sat in our refrigerator and expired. That is food that at one point we bought it, but then decided we don't want that, so we throw it away. All that on average counts to $1,500 for each individual in America. Family of four. There's millions of families in America. So 1,500 times 10, 20 million, you see how much money that is. You see how much food that is, okay? Let me give you a better idea. It is said the typical American eats just under 2,000 pounds of food per year. I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back. 2,000 pounds of food per year. That figure includes the weight of all food consumed from meat to dairy to fruits, vegetables, and junk food. Now keep in mind, this is the average, okay? So think about some of your counterparts like me, who might eat a little bit more than that or a little bit less than that. Don't be judging me. There are people that weigh way more than I do and eat way more than I do. We done seen that show, My 600-Pound Life and Thought Process and all of those. You've seen some of the things that they have intaked just upon themselves by themselves, while other people are not eating at all. Okay? Think about that for a minute. Let's break this down by a food group. For example, the dairy group, average American consumes about 630 pounds of dairy products. That's milk, yogurt, cheese per year. Okay. I do my share of dairy. I understand that. A few more statistics for you. In the meat and poultry category, the average is around 185 pounds per person annually. So that's interesting that people intake more dairy than meat. Okay, more protein than, although there is protein in dairy. So yeah, and then of course fruits and vegetables. Americans consume about 273 pounds of fruit and 415 pounds of vegetables per year. A large portion of this is water weight, which is why they suggest you eat more fruits and vegetables. Because A, it is water weight, and water is very valuable for your body. And two, because it's water weight, it is a lot easier to get rid of as opposed to the meat and the protein in the dairy, which causes more fat, which of course builds up on your body at times and makes you like this here, all pretty and porky. Not so pretty. Anyway, not to fat shame anybody. Who am I to fat shame? I mean, jiggle jiggle. Yeah, if you're on the radio side, you missed all that. It was funny though, trust me. Anyway, good people, what I'm saying is this. Sometimes in this American life, our priorities are a little messed up, okay? We be concerned about some of the wrong stuff sometimes. Now, yes, the food that we are consuming costs more now than ever. And I do want to get into that in a future episode because part of the reason is bad, but part of the solution is worse. What do I mean by that? I'll get to that future episode. But we concern ourselves with the fact that, okay, I am a person, I am hungry. This is America. I got so many different choices of things to eat, particularly if I have the money and cachet to get them. By all means, I cannot wait to go and eat up some stuff each day, every day, without being concerned about whether I'm going to eat. This is a question of how much I want to eat, okay? Meanwhile, you walk past that TV, not put on the news because you don't like to watch the news, because you don't like to care about what's going on in the world. It depresses you. It makes you feel bad. You want to be oblivious to it. Some of you. Some of you. Others are more concerned about what's going on in their four walls. That is it. That is all. As long as I'm eating, as long as my part of America is good, I don't give a smurf about nobody else and what they got going. As far as me and my house, my fridge is full and we good with that. It's a way to think that's somewhat selfish, but it's a way to think that we have been taught to think. As Americans, we learn that, okay, the goal is to become gainfully employed, make as much money as you can, make more, utilize that money to get the things you need, buy the things you want. That's pretty much how America works. In other countries, things work like that to a degree, but maybe on a different level. In some countries, it may even be worse. But long story short is, right now, my belly is fine. I'm not hungry. I'm a little thirsty. That's them pills, really. But I'm good. But right now I'm thinking about over there in the Middle East, where it's probably about 10-hour difference, maybe. So that would make it going on breakfast time. And there are several people waking up this morning and there is nothing in the cupboard to eat. Hell, in some cases there is no cupboard because we live in the dirt. We live in a tent. We used to have a beautiful house a couple years ago. Now we are living in rubble and scrounge and filth with hardly anything to eat or nothing to eat. And it seems like don't nobody give a damn. Now, I do give a damn. I do care. But as a person, there's very, very little I can do. Since that I'm barely surviving day to day myself on this end, just to put some food on my table. But at least I had that option. You would say, okay, if this was basic person, like, yeah, you ain't eating, or you need a job, you need to go to work. kind of have a problem going to work when there is no place to work right now because Gaza is a pile of rubble and garbage. Where I'm supposed to work at, the place where I used to work at, don't even exist no more. It got blew to smithereens. Okay, my house is gone. My neighbor's house is gone. Half my family gone. I'm sitting here looking at my other family. We all look like crack kids because we paper thin because we ain't ate good in months. I ain't even worried about eating a burger or a good goat or steak right now. I just be happy getting some flour to make me a nice little bread patty and eat on that for a couple days. Because who knows when we'll get it again. Do you understand how problematic that is to have to think like that right now? But for over a couple million of people in Gaza, that is their day to day. That is the life they are under. And that's when they don't have to worry about the people that's supposed to be having their best interest at heart, the Hamas, taking what little bit left they got from them and threatening their life and so on and so forth. So it's bad enough you got to worry about not getting enough to eat and all of that and disease and being hurt and so on and so forth. But you also have to worry about who's supposedly supposed to be your own people. Now let me check in on the Facebook because we don't get those comments here on this side at this time. But I want to make sure we address anybody that has anything to say right now. Don't like nobody checked in, but that's all right. Again, if you check in later on with your comments, we usually go back and look at the comments and address them later on after the fact. That's cool. So by all means, do so. America, we are greedy because we got time to have contests where people eat all this extra excess food. Meanwhile, there's parts of the world where they are barely eating at all. Do we care? The best thing that the majority of us could do because we don't have the cachet to make that happen for them is to pray. Pray that God has mercy on the minds and souls of the people that do have the power to help those people and implores them to help. To basically be on their conscience to say, look, you got the facilities to help these people. Please make it so. I did not mean for these people to starve in this way. That is not the type of God or creator I am. Stop taking away these people's ability to eat if you're Hamas. It is wrong. If you supposedly care about the Palestinian people as you claim you do, that's the last thing you should be doing. And now, of course, as Israel considers this, basically saying, you know what? Smurf the hostages, smurf everything. We about to go into what's left of Gaza and just clown out. And whatever happens, happens. Because unfortunately, there are people in Israel who feel like, okay, Hamas is less than us anyway. We don't want them around. I mean, sadly, this is a war, but there's two sides to this thing, okay? And as I said last year in an episode, in a true war, there are no winners, only losers. And right now, it's a lot of people losing. And there's a lot of people around the world who are paying attention to this and much like myself, don't have the means to help but are concerned. And more of you should be concerned that this is going on. Because Lord forbid, in a couple moves later, we look up and America ain't America no more. And we find ourselves in some of them same situations. Now you figure, oh, that ain't going to happen. We spend so much on the military and whatnot. Blase splee. Everything could change in the blink of an eye for whatever reason. Understand, this is Earth. Okay, we understand a great deal about our planet, but there's things we don't understand. We have hurricanes. We have tornadoes. We have earthquakes. And most of those things we can't always predict when they're going to happen. And we can't always change the trajectory and all of that. There are millions of stars in the sky. At any point, one of them stars can go hurtling toward Earth or meteor or asteroid. Yeah, these are some quote unquote dark thoughts, but it could have happened. It has happened at one point. It's the reason why we had the Ice Age. Why one day there was dinosaurs and one day it wasn't. It's the reason why if you take a map and if you put Africa and certain countries together, like, ooh, them look like they used to fit together. Because they did until they didn't. These are the things that I think about. These are some of the things you should think about. So all I'm saying is, next time you see that eating contest, and some of y'all can't even watch because it's just sick. I mean, just the way they dip the hot dogs in the water and the. If you was eating right now, sorry, I ain't mean to do that to you. But I'm just saying, it's a lot, okay? But meanwhile, it's people out here that wish they could have just a couple of these stupid hot dogs, okay? Just one of these glizzies. That would probably be the best thing they ate in weeks. And for those people in our country that walk the streets and really don't need to, posing as people that are truly starving and hungry, just to get a few extra dollars to buy some liquor or whatever the hell else, y'all might be some of the worst of all. Because you make it to where the few people that might want to help you look at it like, why am I helping when in the end all this person doing is getting over on me? Trust me, those people in Gaza, they not getting over. And if it was a way I can make sure they get a few dollars or a loaf of bread or whatnot, I could beam it to them or what have you, I would. And I hope that some of you would. And hopefully as time goes on, they finally figure out what they're going to do with the people of Gaza, that there is a big coming and gathering of folks throughout the world to say, okay, we are now going to help you rebuild your country and get your lives back in order and restore you. Not take your country and make a resort out of it and get over for profit, as a certain person suggested. Not going to say that person's name, but you know who I'm talking about. I think it would be great. Fill in the blank, okay? Anyway, America, we are greedy. We got to do better to care about people that's not us, okay? That's all I'm saying. Commercial time, people, commercial time. Again, shout out to WTA Radio and also the WAHR Radio, sister stations, to my station, which is Nighthawk Network Radio. You can find that station right here on Live 365. You see, if you go to my page and you see that link right there, all you got to do is push in and click on that. It will take you straight to my station. Right now, we should be playing night modes over there. Night modes, some of your favorite R&B slow jams from eras near, far, and away. Do we have that commercial in the queue right now? Let me see. Yep, actually, we got one of them. Check that out and some of the other ones. Again, this is Nighthawk Network. Our voices for our people.
Join us for night modes tonight on Nighthawk Network Radio.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat.
Darling.
Hold up.
Hey, this is your boy ebook. And if you're looking for some great desserts, something sweet, something to treat yourself with, please check out my girl Caramel Sweets here in the Metro Detroit area. She can make desserts for your function, your event, or just for that special someone you want to give something nice to. So check her out. It's Caramel Sweets. You can find her on Facebook and Instagram. We appreciate you. Nighthawk Network presents Pastor Sean Love. Pastor Sean Love, devoted father and husband, a residing pastor at the River Ridge Bible Assembly in River Ridge, Michigan. Join him as he gives us messages from God's Word, Bible study, and encouragement. You can find him on YouTube under Sean Love.
Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
He talks sports his way. It's the guru's perspective. What's going on, y'all? E-Buck back in the building. This is the I Am Nighthawk pod show. We are talking about the things that I think about while many of you are sleeping, like literally sleeping while I'm literally up thinking about it. Anyway, we just got through the topic. America, we are greedy. Just think about some of the food we consuming and how some people ain't eating at all. Anyway, our second topic for the evening is a little different because this one we are talking about how America, we are behind. Now, I got to try to produce this a little differently here because I did not download the things I needed to onto the show, but I do believe I can produce this to where we will see them on my computer screen. Let's see if I can work that out right quickly for you guys. No, that ain't gonna work. Okay, let's try this here. There we go. All right, good people. What's going to happen is, if you are looking at this on the video, I'm going to show you a series of very short videos that will emphasize my point, which is America, we are behind. When I say we are behind, I'm saying that we are behind on some of our technology, on some of the things that we need to implement here in the country. There are other countries that got it going on right now. They got some stuff that I really wish we had here. I'm going to show you just some of it as soon as I track down these videos for y'all. Let's see if I can do it this way. Hold on, good people. Because I do have them. Well, I downloaded them, but I don't have them where I put them on the show. So what I'm attempting to do, and sorry about this on the radio side, this is very bad etiquette. I've not had this together for y'all. But we basically downloaded the videos and I want to show you. Okay, here we go. All right. For some of y'all, I'm gonna have to describe what it is because it's not gonna explain everything on the radio side. But for the visual people, you will get the very essence of what I'm talking about. So again, a few short videos describing things that other countries have that we need to get on. Here we go.
Things in Japan that should exist in your country too. First, in Japan, there's portable paper soap. It looks like thin sheets of paper that come in small, colorful containers. But once you add water, it dissolves into actual soap so you can wash your hands anytime, anywhere. Next, in some bakeries in Japan, there's a self-serve bread slicer. You pick your loaf of bread, place it inside, and use the display screen to decide how thick or thin you want your slices to be. Lastly, Japan has white disposable socks for travel, so you don't have to worry about laundry. They may look too small at first, but once unraveled, they stretch, breathe, and fit comfortably, ensuring they suit all foot sizes. Wear them once or twice, then toss them out.
All right, y'all, that's one. Hold on. We got more. We gotta do it this way again. Hold on. Again, shout out to my producer that did me bold this week. E-Bizzle, you know you're supposed to have this together. I know, your bad. Okay. Here's another one. Here we go.
Things in Japan that every country needs. First, they have these genius little drain covers you stick on before you shower. They catch every strand of hair, and when you're done, you just peel it off and toss it. Clean, simple, and satisfying. Second, privacy in Japan is on another level. When you buy a book, the shopkeeper wraps it in plain paper before handing it to you. So when you're reading in public, like on a train, so no one can judge you based on the cover. And third, Japan has an anti-wrinkle spray that works like magic. Just spray it on your shirt, give it a quick shake, and the wrinkles vanish. It's the ultimate fix when you're short on time. Subscribe. 3 things in Korea that every country needs. First, Korea makes public transport simple by painting its buses in different colors. Each color represents a specific route type. For example, blue for main city routes, green for short neighborhood trips, and red for buses that connect cities to the suburbs, so even tourists can navigate easily. Second, when you get medicine from a pharmacy, they don't just hand you a box of pills. Instead, they give you small, pre-divided packets with your name and the exact time to take each dose, making it super convenient to carry and use. And third, some lifeguard towers come with a slide so guards can get down instantly during emergencies, saving precious time when it matters most. Subscribe for more.
All right, let's just talk about those 2 videos right quick. All right. Imagine we live in a world where we can pre-prep things to that degree. When I talk about those medicine packages, for instance, keep in mind I take 6 different medications throughout the course of the day. In order for me to remember and have everything properly organized, I got one of those little pill organizers, but I had to sit there and be like, okay, let me put this here and that there. And keep in mind, some of the pills look very similar. And I have to remember that the one has a 40 and the one has an S. And it's very, very complicated. I wish that on no individual, okay? And I know somebody that takes double what I take. I know somebody that they take triple the medications that I take. So imagine here you are having to figure out, okay, what go here, what go there, how many times I got to take these, when your pharmacist could be like, okay, this is your medications. All right, we got you. And they put them all in that little convenient packet. And on the packet, it says, okay, take the blue pill at 2, take the green pill at 6, take that pill at 9, take these 2 pills, and so on and so forth. So all you got to do is take the packet, rip it open, take your medicine, and keep it pushing. Awesome. The whole disposable wraps thing. Awesome. Just, okay, yeah, let me do that. The bus scenario. It'd be nice if the buses ran the way that we need them to everywhere, because they don't here, unfortunately. But to imagine, okay, there's a bus system where not only do the buses run well, but you basically can just tell by what color the bus is, what kind of bus it is. If it's your neighborhood bus, it's one color. If it's a bus that goes out to suburbs, that's another color. It's a bus that takes you out of town and what have you, that's a whole nother color. And basically, if somebody's describing to you in that country, okay, I don't know where to go, just take the red bus. Take the blue bus. You know what I'm saying? That would be so good. There are other things going on in countries that we could implement as well. We got another video for you. Hold on. Let me get rid of that one. And let me find another one for you. Hold on. I think that's the right one. Yeah, here we go. Check this one out.
Random things in China that just make sense. Forget the credit cards, you can pay for all your stuff at the local 7-Eleven with just your face. This is very convenient if you've ever forgotten your wallet, but I can imagine how some people are not a fan. I don't know why we don't have this in North America, but when you're eating pizza, they will give you a glove so that you don't have to get your hands dirty and you can just toss it after. All over China, you'll see these robots, especially in restaurants and hotels. They mostly bring food or takeout, and businesses are able to save money and reduce their paid labor. Next, in Shenzhen, you'll see these electric bikes almost everywhere. They have gone really green. When it rains, you'll even find these custom umbrellas that are made specifically for e-bikes. It's hard not to come across these unique vending machines. You can get almost anything. This is Kiehl's brands, and you can get all your skincare essentials right from here. Stay tuned for more China content.
All right, that talked about some of the things they had in China. Like, for example, if you go to a restaurant and you are eating something like a pizza or some wings, something like that, that requires you to use your hands, they give you a packet that automatically has some disposable gloves that you can put on and eat your food with. to make it a little less messy. Makes sense, right? Also, they have it to where there are electric bikes that you can take throughout the city. And understand, the government pays for a lot of these things that they have in China. Okay, the vending machine scenario is really real. If you go and look on like a TikTok or something like that and type in Chinese vending machines, they have vending machines the likes of which we have never seen here, where they give you vending machines that have hot food. They have vending machines that will prepare your food and give it to you. They have a vending machine where you can create your own pizza right quick or make you a sandwich or just a lot of stuff that you look at it, it's like, why can't we have that here? If we supposed to be the biggest country on earth with all this money and stuff and all these resources, why can't we have stuff like that? Why can't our government dollars that we're paying the government go toward things of that nature that actually help people? Coach is checking in. Coach B, what's going on? What up, though? Coach V is saying, I will not eat out of it. And perhaps that might be part of the issue. The fact that we are not as trusting as a people. Understand, there are way more people, Coach, and everybody else in the audience in China than there is here in these United States. We got some 360 million odd people. There's over 1 billion and change in China. Okay. Now understand, every city and Providence doesn't have all these devices that I just showed you in China. There are some Chinese people that live old school and some that live real old school, like thousands of years old school, okay? With that being said, if you live in a major metropolitan area, a lot of these things will be very, very convenient. True, says Coach B. These things are on the market in these countries. We don't have them here. Understand, most of the products that we get in this country come from somewhere else. I understand, and keep in mind, this is one of the very, very few things that I can kind of see where the president is going on that, where he wants us to create more things in America for America. I get that. But we don't have the technology because we are not developing that technology the way the Chinese people are. We are not educating the people in order to utilize that technology like the Chinese and Japanese people are. We behind. As I said, plain and simple, we are behind. And we need to understand that and know that. I said this last year. If we were ever to truly go to war with China, I don't like our chances. Not in this day and age. Yeah, we might have more weapons of mass destruction than them, but when it comes to the things they can do to us, as opposed to what we can do to them, it ain't a contest, and we look bad in a lot of that, okay? But all I know, they may have some Avenger-type robots going on over there. Some real Iron Man, Captain America-type stuff that we call ourselves doing something, and next thing you know, robots took us out. Real bad. It ain't a good look, okay? I got one more video I'm going to show y'all about this. Like I said, we are currently looking at videos that's highlighting technologies in other countries that we honestly should have here or something similar to that for the people, because millions of people are benefiting from some of these things. And right now, we ain't. Check this one out. Here we go.
In China that just makes sense. A toilet red light green light system, labeled hotel room light switches. These toilet doors, although I'm not sure law. Air purifying robots. Food delivery robots, so cute. Universal charging wires at every airport seat. Starbucks numbered fields to find your order.
Okay, look. The robots that deliver your food, that clean stuff. Keep in mind, I know y'all done seen like the little robot vacuum cleaners, and now they got the robot mowers and stuff like that. They got a lot of different types of robots for stuff like that. And again, government funded stuff that paid for. Imagine you go to a bathroom and you leave the bathroom and the bathroom cleans itself instantly. Like sprays out the toilet, sprays the floors down, dries them, the whole deal. Okay, just bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. All right. Imagine a robot that cleans the streets at night while everybody sleeps. And I mean like clean, sanitize, the whole deal. Okay. Imagine all these things going on in your city and you wake up the next morning, everything's nice and neat and clean. All right. It's possible. Now, understand, I live here in the city of Detroit. Some of you live in New York. Some of y'all live in California and Texas and Colorado, wherever. And I know the thought process is, okay, if they have robots like that, more than likely people will vandalize them. People will steal them. People will break them on purpose, all that good stuff. And that is the real crust of the issue. Yeah, we can afford to do these things if we really, really wanted to implement them. All we had to do is insist that our government is like, look, we want it like China got it. We want these things. Well, we don't have the money. Yes, you do. You've been taking my taxes. Use it for that stuff. Not all this other little silly stuff you're doing. Use it for that. And if you can't, then fire yourself and bring us some people that can. That part. Meanwhile, we got to sit back and say, okay, we have these things to utilize. Let us properly use them. Let them benefit us the way they should. Let us not vandalize them, disrespect them, not let them do what we need them to do for everything to be cool. Because that's where the problem comes in. There's a different level of respect in some of those countries in regards to their things and belongings and what it takes to keep everything nice and neat and whatnot. We as people are not good at that on this side of the planet. We are more concerned about, again, what we eating, what we're buying, that jewelry, that new car, that new house, that new outfit. We're not concerned about the society around us to that degree, several of us. It is the sad truth of the matter. You know what else we are not concerned about nearly enough? Violence. The violence that is going on throughout this country, here throughout the world really, but definitely in this country. We're going to discuss that on Friday, Coach B and myself. Again, you can be able to catch him on the Straight Sports Talk Show, but Coach Vincent will be on at a special time, about 7:30, Coach. If you're tuned in, you can verify that right now on the air. About 7:30 on Friday to talk about some of the violence that's been taking place throughout the summer here in the city and throughout the country, and just steps that we can do to make things better. I mean, it's one thing to recognize that we got an issue, but if we ain't willing to put forth more of an effort to come up with solutions, it's all for naught. Understand, we've been doing these talks about violence for decades now in this country. And it seems like to no avail because if anything, it seems like situations not getting better, it's getting way, way worse. And it is bad. So for those of you listening in places like Georgia or Alabama or Colorado, for our Canadian people listening, so even you guys have issues with violence in some of your cities. This is definitely an issue we got to work on, okay? As far as some of the inventions and things we're seeing right now, some of those things, to a smaller degree, you can actually go on your Amazon or your Temu and look them up. And I'm sure they have some of them that you can actually order. Now, because of the tariff situation, it's probably going to cost you a lot more than it would have maybe a month or so ago. But yeah, if you want to get a little robot type situation that they sell and ship to you, by all means, if you want some of those products like the soap sticks and stuff like that, I'm sure they sell those things on Amazon, or you can obtain them so you can make your own life here in America a little better, get a little bit higher up the curve than where we are right now. But yeah, people, we behind. Another thing we behind on, definitely education. We will have that discussion next time because, of course, it's about time for school to start back. And I recently discovered this new learning method that they talked about on 60 Minutes a few weeks ago. I want to talk to y'all about it. Let's see what you guys think. And also, I want to talk about the subject of slopping. Slopping? What is slopping, E-Buck? We'll talk about that on the next episode of I Am Nighthawk. Again, shout out to all our people listening throughout the country, throughout the other countries that listen into the show. Out in Nigeria, to my Nigerian people, what up, though? And to my Canadian people, what up, though? And to my Caribbean person, what up, though? Appreciate all y'all that are part of the network. Thank you to the new people who have joined the network that I've met through Coach V's show and, of course, through the new show known as Rumble Time. Again, y'all can catch Rumble Time Thursday evening where we will talk WrestleMania results and whatnot. And again, of course, as always, shout out to Road to Stardom, Coach Vincent, my guy Hugh Lee, who I'll be on tomorrow because that will be the season premiere of Guru Sports Session. We'll be back talking sports with you guys. So check us out tomorrow at 9 p.m. And in the meanwhile, good people, hopefully if you are here in the city of Detroit, you went out and voted today. The results are coming in now as to who will be the two candidates that will run for mayor and a few people that will run for council. Congratulations to the winners, to the losers. Do better, but keep doing, okay? You didn't win that particular part, but there's still other things you can do to help uplift this city. Hopefully you will still do so. Or maybe you'll come up with a way to run independently. That's an option. Anyway, good people, this has been the I Am Nighthawk podcast. E-Buck has been your host. I will catch you guys next time around. As always, I say, don't stress, be blessed. And in the end, if you can't do it another way, put your hands together and pray to God in the sky, and hopefully he will take care of the rest, all right? Until then, this is E-Buck. This is Nighthawk. I'm out, people. Later.